Hey artists, in this demo we're going to talk about how we can hollow out the inside areas of our sculpture, and that would be any area that is thicker than kind of a finger width. So some smaller aspects of your sculptures, in mine for example, the ears into the snout, maybe even these arms may not need hollowing, but the larger extent of it, the main areas, we want to get inside and remove that clay, which makes it lighter and allows it to dry. Now for this stage, it's really important that your sculpture is generally holding its shape. When you press into it firmly with a finger or thumb, it doesn't really move. It doesn't squish. It's not too soft. We call this stage leather hard. So it'd be similar to pressing into a cowboy boot or a leather boot near the bottom. It's stiff, it's firm, but it's not too hard yet either. So when you're ready to do this, some of you may be lucky enough to kind of just come up from the bottom of your sculpture, but depending on how large it is or the various forms, you might need to kind of cut it open. So to do that, I'm going to use a large metal knife, okay? And I'm going to try to be strategic about what I need to cut off. I know I have to get into the tail here, up into the head and shoulders. So I actually think I'm going to just slice somewhat down at its back, okay? So you can kind of see from the side how I was slicing here. And then I'm going to come along here and under the arms and just kind of remove this part of my sculpture very delicately so I can get inside and hollow it out. Later on, I'm going to be able to scratch and attach and then fix up these seams that I've created, these little divides, okay, and any other details. So seems a little dramatic, but there you are. I have a few different entry points here where I can start to hollow as well as the bottom. Something that's really helpful is keeping in mind the wall thickness that we need. So if I'm looking here, I want to keep in mind finger width or like a centimeter is great, and anything else we want to kind of remove. So I like to draw where I'm going to need to hollow in. And then I want to maintain these edges because later that is what I'm going to use to scratch and reattach the headpiece, okay? If we flip and we're looking at the bottom, and I'm going to hollow up through there as well, again, you can kind of just sketch it out for yourself or ask for my help. But I'm trying to scoop away, right, all of this clay here that I do not need in my sculpture. Something else that you might use in this step is one of these large kind of foam pads, and that's just to support your sculpture so that as you're leaning it on funny angles, right, it's not getting squished. So it's here in its various pieces, and then I'm ready to start hollowing. So you want to use these types of tools for the job. There are the more narrow ones, kind of a rectangle, an oval, and then there are the larger circle or more triangular type hollowing tools. And basically, you just want to keep one hand near the edge. I know it's a little hard to see on this angle, and you just pull along and you start to scoop that clay out in sort of little pieces or little strips or chunks of it. This will take a bit of patience and it will take some time, but hopefully you find that the clay that you're scooping out is relatively soft and you can just mold it back, kind of keep all of that off to the side and in a ball. So I'm going to work up from the bottom, right, down from the top here, same process. If it's a really skinny area, maybe use the smaller tool. Maybe you're just sort of twisting and pulling, but you're scooping out all of that clay. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this step and then meet you back to show how we will reattach things.